Have you ever wondered what strategy the rank 1 is using to get into 6,500 trophies? Well, today I'm here to show you that it's quite easy to use and you can absolutely crush bases with it. Okay, here we are, and guys, let's look at the top players globally. And we got the unknown Burrito. Yes, this guy is currently rank 1, but he's been coming 4 tiles up. You can see the 4 right next to his name. But 6,500 trophies is no joke, and look at what he's running. Just 16 dragon and yes, 11 invisibility spells. Now I know exactly the army he's using because, well, I've been using it myself. As you can see, like, it's in high legends. You can see the names, you can see the trophies. Everyone is about 6k. You can see Yara. There's a lot of people and every base just gets crushed. Simple as that. It's like you don't fail with this army. So we're gonna dive into some of my attacks, and let's just open up with my last attack because I just did this one a few minutes ago and it was quite interesting because I thought to get even more value with my RC, but she didn't. And this is what I want to show you. The RC Electro boots is one of the most important thing in this strategy. Now we're gonna see how she's diving forward, getting those buildings, and you can see I made the wizard tower invisible. Now this is where I wanted the RC to kind of move downwards towards the rage tower. So what I was planning was to get this complete compartment side of the base, but look at my RC, look at where she's going. This is when you lose control, okay? But it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. So what is going to happen is that I'm going to waste so many invisibilities on that town hall that even that side of the base is going to stay up. But we're getting some decent value on the top side. And my next tip for you will be, don't get too greedy once the RC is going to a decent spot. For example, that air defense, as you can see, you could go with another invis to get more value, but you don't have to. Now look at this. There is no building to target dragons on the right hand side. So I noticed that and I pulled the dragon there, queen arrow for the other sweeper. I pop a few more dragons and we're diving into a Tesla farm with the rest of the dragons, minion prince on air, of course warden on air and everything. When the rage tower drops, I was scared to pop the warden ability, but notice there's only one multi-archer tower, so you don't necessarily have to pop the warden ability on the rage tower. But now I'm going to pop it when we're negating the monolith RC from the left side to clear a few buildings. When I recalled her back into the action, I immediately popped the ability to get some funneling for my dragons. And just look at the amount of dragons we have. The only thing that this base has to target her is this archer tower and wizard tower right now. It's crazy. It's crazy, and nothing will kill these dragons. This is why the rank 1 is right now up there in Legends League. Like, obviously this strategy, I don't know how it's gonna get nerfed. I think obviously RC is one of the reasons, but you saw it. Like, I didn't get half of the base, right? I literally got a small compartment and the town hall with like 2 inferno multis, but that never matters with the dragon. So it's interesting how this strategy is being used. But let's move on to my second attack. So here we are on Yata's base. Now some of you have never seen this base and some of you have. If you're pushing legends, this base is quite common, and let's see how I take it down. Now guys, with the RC you usually have so many options. It's not like, okay, this is where you need to center. No, it's never like that. You need to kind of notice, okay, which are the areas that are less likely to have like a lot of giant bombs, you know, like for example this little bomb here. This area could be completely full of bombs because Yata, for example, thought you would come and go to his clan castle and the core. So I'm going from the side. Now if my RC moves to the left, it's still fine because, well, we're at least negating the giant bombs from another angle, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like we're going diving into the bait, but at the same time I'm getting the value I want to. Now let's see where the RC goes, because sometimes the pathing could be juicy, okay? Sometimes she may go a bit weird to the next defense and you may need to be completely ready to drop the next invis. But look at how I got my RC to the core. Now Yata was not baiting this entry, which is fine by me, you know. Now I'm going to make the Inferno invisible because we can take it down with the aura, and once that is also kind of going low as well, you can also make that invisible. But I kind of want my RC to stay in this area because of the clan castle. Look at the damage we're doing with the maxed electro boots, and then I'm gonna recall, but then notice the clan castle is very low, so we're gonna pop the giant arrow with it and completely take that down. If that was a clan castle full of archers, for example, against this strategy, it's gone. It's never going to come out, and that's also a beauty of it. If you can see, there's a lot of building next to the clan castle. Usually try to get your RC there. It's not necessarily, but you can see how we took that down. Going with the early warden, because of course the town hall poison and the multi-archer towers with these fire spitters, it's quite a lot of damage. Now some dragons are on the top side, some on the bottom side. Now this is where you kind of choose where to recall back your RC. On the last attack, we had a pretty much kind of, I would say, pathing that is like, okay, we need to get the dragon's path, but they already are pathing into the base. So on the right side, we had a scatter shot and a few buildings. This is where I saw my dragon moving towards it, and I was like, I'm not gonna time fill on Yara's base, so let me drop the RC, take the scatter out and those buildings, and we can clean up right behind it. Simple as that. But just look at the amount of dragons, right? It's insane how many traps you need to kill these many dragons. It's just never gonna happen, especially in Legends. Like, I've done this strategy in tournaments, in hard mode, in the caravan, very hard mode, okay, and it does still work, but it's not this crushing, okay. It's gonna be less dragons you're gonna be finishing, but that's because you got lower ability. So let's see if one day maybe the hard mode will get added to Legends League, but for now let's move on to the third hit. Alright, here we are, and this is gonna be our next base. I believe this was Itsu's base that he uploaded on YouTube. I think it's the exact same version, but one thing I wanted to show you on this attack is that I actually dive into all the traps for the RC, okay? So this is basically the base that I would like you to see. It doesn't matter even if you dive into the early traps. Look at the double giant bomb, the small bomb, the tornado trap is gonna catch you. You need to invest so many useless invisibilities right now. And then don't worry, there is even more traps when we get to the rage tower. So let's see this RC. We're gonna take everything down. I'm going to go with another invis. Look at the bombs and the traps, making the RC low level. But of course, if you have a decent level of the electro boots, you're gonna gain the HP back. So this is a good thing. But if you have a very low level, like let's say below 10, that's when you're gonna gain the HP back a bit slower. So you need to watch out, okay, because these bases could be potentially defending you, or you have to recall the RC way too quicker than you thought because she's too low. Just have to watch out when you're going into Monolith and Town Hall. So one more invisibility we have. I'm going to make sure we get that Monolith, and once the RC is going a bit weird, just recall her back. So where do you start? Well, look at the sweepers, right? One thing is for sure is that these sweepers are going to be annoying because I can only take down one unless I go with a nice queen ability. But now I'm going further away from the queen with the dragons. But this was a mistake with my warden ability. I accidentally tapped it, so it's completely on the outside. This is around the area where I wanted to pop it because we're negating a raged tower, heavy damage building. So that's why I also go with that, you know, minion prince ability to get something frozen. And notice my RC to get this air defense and also cut the dragons to the town hall. Now my queen is having some troubles later on, also is going to die, but as I said, that warden ability is one of the most important things. Now of course we do have dragons, but look at the air heroes around the town hall. This is also when things could get a bit juicy going through that town hall when they have two air heroes right next to it. Of course you can see now things are coming a bit bad because of that warden ability that was used on the outside of the base. On the last two attacks you saw how we popped it. We really went deep and we went with that warden ability, but we also lost a lot of HP on the RC early on, which kind of was fine, I mean, because we gained a lot of it back. But even after all of that, because there is no town hall poison, obviously the dragons will still get through it. But this is where I was praying, no traps please, and look at this one. It's gonna come close, but you can see the power, right? We popped the warden ability literally on the outside of the base and we still tripled, and this is one of Itsu's bases that was working really good for him, but in general it also went down. Now this base, I think this was probably the closest attack I've ever done, but I wanted to share it with you. That shows like it can get defended, okay? It's not like it's the most broken thing ever, okay? That's why no one, like not no one, but like not most of the people are using it in the high legends, and it's only a few accounts. So yeah, let's go to another attack and just finish off this video. Now we're here on this base, and you can see the clan castle on the town hall is quite further away. And what I wanted to do was, let me show you quickly with my pen here, to just get a small funnel, and then you can see the pathing of the dragons right through that core with a nice giant arrow through the base. Now if you get the sweepers, it's good. If not, I have to kind of angle the giant arrow to at least get one of them. And then because this lower side is where the dragons could potentially walk out, this is where I drop the recalled RC to get that value with the rocket spear. That's the most simplest plan on a diamond base, so keep that in mind. Let's see how I execute this. Now I really wanted to kind of kill the clan castle also with my electro boots, but unfortunately on this attack, because I was investing my invisibilities really kind of on point, it wasn't the best drop, so the ice golems did come out. Going to make the clan castle invisible so the RC run past it without lowering it. One more invis on the RC, and this is where it's interesting. Like, why is the clan castle coming out? Like, that is one of the bugs that is still in the game since the beginning of the World Champion drops. So if 1 second you miss but the RC is still invisible, you can go back and watch it. The CC will still come out. I didn't drop anything, you know. It's interesting. But now the RC with the poison tower, with an ice golem, she goes back to these ice golems. This is where it's going a bit out of control again. So you can see, like, sometimes even if you are like having this army, practicing it a lot, it can happen. The RC is very weird hero. It may just be weirder than Warden, if you guys remember how bad his walking was, like going into single infernos when you're doing smash attacks. It was just insane. Now I'm recalling the RC, and then we go with that giant arrow. Took down the last air defense of the base. Very nice one. I think it was enough. But now we're going with a line of dragons because we're negating a lot of heavy air damage and the minion prints on the air. I'm gonna go in with the early warden, going into the air defense, and of course multi inferno, scatter shot, all these type of defenses. It's a very good because like on the lower side you don't have much damage, especially when you're dropping the RC with the rocket spear. You can see how we're gonna funnel our dragons, and also the queen will not go down really quickly. Minion Prince ability freezing that backend, and kind of the core, we do have dragons from the siege barracks, so not the siege barracks, the stone slammer. So basically we got 18 dragons in this man's ground. It's crazy. But RC with the Phoenix, she alone can take care of the rest of the base. You don't even need this many heroes and dragons. The RC right now could take it out all together, but that's why we run the Phoenix. It's easier to control, guys, with that invisibility spells. Don't run the Fox in my opinion, especially if you're running the rocket spear, because if you want to pop it early, the Fox is gonna stay back, you know, it's gonna go forward, sorry, the RC is gonna stay back, so it's gonna be a bit weird and harder to control. Like, it's not just the best choice in my opinion, but these are all the best choices you have. These are the equipments that you might be running, and you could run the rage gem, but honestly the healing tome is one of the best equipments. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Well, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow as well. Take care and peace.